If you're into your theatre, community theatre or otherwise, there's a really great show coming up here in Perth as of November the 8th. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a very iconic and very popular story, albeit confronting. And with us now we've got Sherwood, who's the director of the play, and her leading man, Doug Houston. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So why this particular story, Jane?
The film really stuck in my mind when I saw it years ago, and I was looking for a serious dramatic production to direct. And after about 6 months of trying to get the rights, they finally came through. That was all about 18 months ago, and we've been going with it ever since.
A very confronting story, and you do warn on the posters that there are some confronting scenes and some strong language used. Yep. Not the kind of thing you'd want to take your small children to, but...
No, my son's been around theatre a long time. I might take him, but I think generally you're looking at young teens upwards for this one.
For those who aren't really familiar with the story or the film, what's it all about? It does deal with some confronting issues, including mental illness?
It does. It's actually set in a mental institute. R.P. McMurphy, Randall Patrick McMurphy, is the protagonist, and he's spent a lot of time in jail and decides that it's probably easier to serve his term out in prison, in a mental institute rather than the prison. He doesn't know until he gets there that once he's there until they decide to let him out, not the 6 months at the end of his term.
At the whim of Her Majesty.
Yes,
Nurse
the lovely
Randall.
Nurse Ratchet. Nurse Ratchet,
sorry,
yes. Who's a very controlling woman, to say the least. The other patients that are there are actually voluntary, so they can leave, which McMurphy finds really strange that they should choose to be there.
I mean, how does your treatment of the story differ from that, say, in the film that a lot of people would have seen?
As I said, the other patients are much more involved in it. We've tried to steer away from stereotypes and caricatures. We've tried to make them very real. We've tried to identify what their issues are that have put them in there, but tried to keep them very human as well. And hopefully the audience will feel something for each and every one of them.
Doug, this is only your second theatre show and you're already in a leading role, and what a leading role as well. A role certainly made famous by one of the most famous actors on the planet. Big shoes to fill?
Definitely, yeah. I had my stage debut also with Jane directing in Who Killed Candy Sweetness before, and it went really, really well. Cool. Totally stoked with the result. And now, first lead role on stage. Definitely big shoes to fill. Total challenge, but Jane's a good director, and as time goes by, great supporting cast. It's going really, really well. And watching everybody else switch it on has really helped me switch on McMurphy, so to speak. You know?
How far did you have to delve into this character? It's a hugely complex role, playing a man who is sane but playing insane who is actually sane. So it's in an insane environment. So what kind of research and how did you prepare yourself?
Well, I've been living 41 years now, so the world's a pretty crazy
But you're clearly
place.
sane. You're clearly sane.
Yeah, well, I happen to know and grew up with a very close friend of mine who suffers quite severe schizophrenia, and through knowing him and seeing things that he's gone through and knowing other people through him that have been institutionalised and that sort of thing, it was a great advantage.
No, it's so confronting, but knowing someone that you can draw from for experience, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. But you got to do what you got to do, I suppose. Now, one of the issues when it comes to theatre is that people do fork out for these big shows. Why should they be paying $20 to see community theatre?
Oh, they'll see something just as good as they'll see paying the big money. We've got a real advantage here in Perth with so many Whopper and other places where they're training actors who don't then go on and necessarily work professionally. A lot of them work in community theatre in Perth. So we have some amazing productions here with some really talented people, and the passion is just amazing.
Obviously the same level of enthusiasm that we're getting right here on the couch. So when it comes to the formalities, here's the poster. We're running in the Phoenix Theatre Memorial Hall. That's in Hamilton Hill. It's on the corner of Rockingham Road and Carrington Street. If you are over this way in Perth, it's not Rockingham, it's Hamilton Hill. It's just outside Fremantle, so it's not a huge drive. Tickets $20. It starts on the 8th of November runs Friday, Saturday and Sunday night for 3 weeks.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday for 3 weeks.
Saturday for 3 weeks, and with a matinee at 2 p.m. on the 18th of November. Have I covered everything off? Bookings, trybooking.com, but of course we'll have all the details on the Couch website as well. Thank you very much for joining us today, guys. Good luck with the show. Break a leg, as they do say.
Thank you very much, Candice.